The fact that the Edmonton Oilers are over the salary cap means that something's got to give between now and the start of the 2024-25 season. One NHL insider believes the situation could be a quote, break glass in case of emergency move. I'm going to talk about that and more, but first, I wanted to give a big shout out to our sponsor because this video is brought to you by Rentals.ca, who are proud supporters of Team Canada at the Olympics. While they've been supporting our national team defend their home court heading into the Olympics, they've also been helping thousands of Canadians find their home floor across the country. And that's no matter where you're at. It could be any city across Canada because from coast to coast, Rentals.ca have a ton of options to find the perfect place at the perfect price for you. A big alert of the service is that their website is clean and easy to use, and you can pinpoint exactly on the map where you want to move. It's easy to find all the options in your area, and it's easy to find them quickly. Find your home court with Rentals.ca. Check out their website in the pinned comment or the description down below. Shout out to Rentals.ca for supporting our channel. Shout out to Rentals.ca for supporting Team Canada as well and for finding the best rentals across the country. Let's now get into the video. The fact of the matter is that the Edmonton Oilers' salary cap struggles are going to force the team into a move, and there are a few options as to who could be moved to at least alleviate those cap struggles enough to be able to sign restricted free agents Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway. It seems like the most likely player to be moved out is Cody Ceci, and NHL insider Frank Saravalli has reported as much. Saravalli expressed his belief earlier this week that Ceci is, quote, a prime cost-cutting trade candidate for the Edmonton Oilers to try and remedy some of those aforementioned cap challenges, and it does stand to reason. Ceci's in the final year of his contract that's paying him a pretty reasonable $3.25 million, and he definitely performed better in the playoffs than in the regular season last year, which, given the fact that the Edmonton Oilers made a run to the final, could definitely enhance his trade value. Ceci had 5 goals, 25 points, a plus 12 rating, 106 block shots, and 91 hits across 79 games played in the regular season last year. And with the pretty significant premium that's been placed on right shot defensemen for a while now in the NHL, you have to think there would be a few teams happy to trade for the player. However, very importantly, the leverage context is going to loom very large here. Even despite the death of Cap Friendly, rest in peace, other NHL teams know what Edmonton's salary cap situation is. They're going to be very, very aware that a Ceci trade, or if not a Ceci trade, another trade involving a player, is going to have to be made by Edmonton to clear cap space. It's a trade they need to make rather than a trade they want to make. The market for Ceci is an interesting one, and there are a few teams that come to my mind anyways as far as being top of the Cody Ceci acquisition list go. The New York Rangers are an interesting one because they've been involved in a lot of rumors surrounding their own cap dump, and that is trading Captain Jacob Trouba away to free up some cap space from the back end. And if that's the case, you're going to see the New York Rangers probably bump Braden Schneider into a top 4 role. I think Cody Ceci could help take some pressure off of the young defenseman, especially if his transition into New York's top 4 is bumpy. K'Andre Miller is that second left shot defenseman right behind Ryan Lindgren and Adam Fox on that top pair. If the New York Rangers want to maybe provide a little bit of insulation for Schneider, he'll probably start on the second pair with Miller, but if he struggles with the minutes, if he struggles with the matchups, having a Cody Ceci on the third pair being able to bump him up is a pretty good option, I think, for the New York Rangers. Staying in New York, the Buffalo Sabres are the other team that come to mind for me. They've got an excess of left shot defensemen and very few options on the right side. And to be completely honest, they're sitting pretty nicely in salary cap context as well. They've got nearly $14 million at their disposal right now. So the possibility of them acquiring Cody Ceci is probably good for the team, considering that Matthias Samuelsson has had injury problems plague him for the last 3 seasons. He's had 3 major injuries in the last 2 years, I believe. And if his injury problems continue, it's not remotely far-fetched that the Buffalo Sabres could be needing another top 6 defenseman. I think the biggest factor in how the trade goes, though, is how much serious interest there does end up being. If you get 3 or more teams seriously in on Ceci, the trade becomes simple and kind of easy for the Oilers. you send him to the place with the best return. If those three teams are needing to compete with one another to land Ceci, I could see, and I'd be really happy with, Edmonton getting a third-round pick for him, maybe a third and a fifth, a third and a mid-round pick, like a third and a fifth from the Buffalo Sabres. Buffalo and Edmonton just made a trade. There's clearly a decent trading relationship there. And if Samuelson's injuries continue to jeopardize the player consistently staying in Buffalo's lineup, the Oilers at least shouldn't have to give anything up to offload Ceci to Buffalo. Unfortunately, the statement that the Oilers shouldn't have to give anything up to offload a contract probably doesn't apply to Evander Kane, which is the other cost-saving player departure that has been thrown around. Kane's kind of got everything working against the Oilers right now when it comes to moving his contract. He's got a $5.125 million cap hit this year and next year, which would be a tough pill for any team to swallow. If you did try and move Kane to a team with the cap space to take him, it would have to be a team he would be willing to waive his no-move clause for. He's also coming off by far and bar none the worst of his 3 seasons in Edmonton, and he's not far off a significant injury in the playoffs either, which is going to come with its concerns. Brett Kulak's name has also been bandied about. He's got $2.75 million on his cap hit this year and next, and he doesn't have any trade protection. The only factor here for the Edmonton Oilers, in my opinion, in trading either Kulak or Ceci is the question mark of who's going to slot in on that defense. They did sign Josh Brown, and I do believe Josh Brown can be a third pair option. So if Cody Ceci ends up moving out, you end up trying either Brown or maybe a Philip Broberg with Darnell Nurse, Kulak and the other one of those two players on the third pair. That's not a terrible defense for the Edmonton Oilers, but it's definitely the part of the team that's still, even before you talk about trading a Ceci or a Kulak, as of right now, probably needs the most improvement. Philip Broberg burst out in the playoffs. I know the Edmonton Oilers, I know Oilers fans are really hoping that what Broberg showed in those playoffs, which is a very, very solid top 6 defenseman, can continue and consistently be on display all season for Edmonton. The fact of the matter is, as of right now, I'd still call Philip Broberg an unknown commodity right now. There's a lot of indications that he could be a great top 6 option for Edmonton, but the Oilers counting on that, let alone counting on that enough to trade one of Ceci and Kulak is a whole different story. Their hand might be forced, though. They very, very likely might not have an option in trading one of those two players again, especially when you consider that the main player on the forward core, Evander Kane, that Edmonton would be okay departing with, would not only be difficult to trade because of his no-move clause, but a over $5 million cap hit for a player who is coming off his worst season in the last 3 is not a good thing either. Evan Bouchard and Leon Draisaitl are officially eligible to sign contract extensions as well. As I mentioned, Holloway and Broberg need a contract each for this season, and Edmonton need to become cap compliant. That's a checklist, and whoever Jackson's GM hire is going to be is going to have some work to do. If you want to check out some other opinions and analysis on those GM candidates, you can check out my colleague Matt Pierce's video that'll be right up in that corner. Thanks so much for watching this video today.